What's going on, folks? Back down here at the property today. It is July 30th, and man, it's a beautiful morning this morning, but it's gonna get hot today once again. It's upper 90s, maybe might see 100. Real feel is probably gonna be 100 today. So the plan is to kind of get in and get out as quick as I can this morning before it does get too hot. So I just really have more of the same on the agenda today. Kind of need to do a little bit of like shooting lane maintenance there at the box blind, trim up some limbs and all that stuff, and then swap camera cards. And my plan is then to finally get out of that area. I know the past probably 4 or 5 videos have been back there at the box blind, so my plan is to move over here to Mal's corner. Over here is that away, that direction, south of me here. So the plan is to go over there, kind of work on a trail, going back to that spot, and then kind of cleaning that area up. And I rigged up a little hanger for a collapsible feeder that I've got to put at that spot. So planning on hanging that today too. So really just more of the same, more of the probably not the most exciting stuff to watch, but the useful, practical stuff. So that being said, it still feels pretty good out here now, so we better go ahead and get to it. Well, this water is a little bit higher than I thought. I believe I have made my first error in shoe selection today. I'm pretty sure this is a good bit deeper than these boots. Maybe not. I think this is pretty much the middle. Oh. That's over. Let's see if I can find something to walk on. Let's see here. Oh, I think I got her whooped. All right. Well, I guess while I'm over here, I can tell y'all about this spot here. So this spot connects up with the trail that I cut in the last video. This is kind of where it connects back to the front end of the property. So it's just this big, I mean, I've hunted this. I've used it as a duck hole. There's actually over in that area on the other side of this tree here, there's a old duck blind up in the cypress trees over there. I think it's a cypress tree it's in. But yeah, cool spot. So it's obviously been hunted before, and yeah, it's a cool little spot. Like I said, I've hunted it before. Hadn't really had too much success out of it, but I've hunted it and probably will hunt it in the future. Anyway, just wanted to show you all that spot real fast. Let's get back to the box blind. On my way back to the box blind, I figured I'd stop and check the far end of this trail that I sprayed here, and well, it don't really look like it did too much. I don't know if you can see the box blind back there, but I'm about in the middle of this trail here, and it ain't dead yet. It's still pretty green. It don't look like it phased it too much. That's of course not ideal, but oh well. I mean, I'm using generic glyphosate. Maybe it's not high quality. Maybe I didn't mix it right. Probably didn't mix it right. hopefully I mix it a bit stronger on the levee spraying. We'll see. All right, let me give you an update on this trimming. So front of the blind here, looking out. The feeder is gonna be right down there. So that's clear lane now. I kind of leveled all this right here so that you can see out in that. And like I said, later I'll be trying to put some shooting lanes in here. I doubt I kind of get to that before season starts at this point, but that's in the plan. So now you can at least see out in those woods. Before it was so thick you couldn't hardly see anything. So we got this end, that trail. This is the shooting lane here. And looking at it now, I can kind of tell there's like a trail where critters have been walking through now, but as you can tell, it's not dead where I sprayed it. So RIP to that. And then I came back here and trimmed out this little, it was pretty open. I just kind of cut down some little saplings and junk. So hopefully now I've pretty much got a view out of each window except for to the left, but that's looking over kind of towards the neighbors, so not too concerned about that. So now I've got some pretty solid shooting lanes here, especially compared to last year. So pretty excited about that. All right, if you folks have watched some of the videos from this past winter, you might recognize this trail. This is one of the first couple that I cut out here, actually, and it goes back to one of the drainages that backs up with water when it gets up. I hadn't been down here since I trimmed it, I don't believe, and I wanted to see if it was dry or not. Yeah, here's the drainage, and it looks pretty dry to me here. When I cut this trail, let's see, I think the water was probably about up to here when I cut it, and it was all the way over the other side of that tree by that log back there. So I was just wading across this, you know, while I was cutting. Since we're back here, let's just go ahead and go look at the main slough. Go check it out, see what that water level is looking like. And this right here is just what I wanted to see. So this right in front of me is the start of the slough. So I see some water right back there. That slough starts about here and runs out. You know, in years past, one of the problems with this property, you can't control the water for one, and probably the past couple years they've been dry. The past 2 or 3 years have been dry, but before that we had a stretch of a number of years where this place was underwater all summer, and it was like that for years. It was probably underwater maybe for like 2 years straight, or you know, just about. And you know, that was really starting to do a number on these trees. So I'm glad that now we've had a couple years, like I said, 2 or 3 years now, where the water's gotten off all of them and just kind of giving them, you know, that breath of fresh air that they need. Let the oxygen get down to the roots, because otherwise, you know, it'll just smother them. It'll kill them. Their roots won't have oxygen, and then a tree can't live like that. So it's been good. The past few years, we've Lord's blessed us. We've been good. So yeah, happy to see that this is dried up like it is out here. This would be, I mean, come this fall, I'll be walking in knee-deep water right here. This is all good to see. You can tell the low spots are still kind of wet, but shoot, looking good in here. All right, so I know I've talked about this other box blind that we have at the woods before a couple times, but I've never shown it on the channel. Now prepare yourself. It's a lot to take in. Oh, look at that unit. Check this bad boy out. Whoa. What an aggressive unit. So like I've said, I don't know where this blind came from. I don't know who put it up. I don't know anything about it. I just know I found it out here one time, and I was like, there's a box blind out here. We ought to hunt it. So I've hunted it a few times, but it's just big enough for one person in there, and it's pretty sketchy. Somebody took the time and built this nice ladder and everything, handrails, but boy, it shakes around a little bit. This whole blind shakes around a little bit. I know I've been talking about it, so I figured I might as well shoot a little clip and show it. All right, so I'm here in Mal's Corner now, and I've spent the last 15-20 minutes just kind of planning out where I want to arrange things. I want to put a ground blind in here this year, and then maybe in the future build a box blind for this area. But if I'm putting up a feeder and kind of making this spot a bit more permanent, I want to put some thought into it. I might move the ground blind or set up the ground blind like in this area, right back here, somewhere where I can get in and out pretty easy. And then I'll put the feeder up out here on one of those trees. So then that way you've got this slough trail just the same. You still be able to see all of it. And then that opens me up for maybe doing a little hidey hole plot right out in here. And thin some of this out, like that's a honey locust right there, one of them spiky trees. Get rid of that thing, you know, kind of clear some of this out, and then hidey hole plot right here, right off that slough. It stays wet, you can tell. Actually would have problems getting water off of it rather than keeping it on. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure I've convinced myself that that's the best idea. So now it's time to get the Sawzall, trim some stuff, clean it up in here just a little bit, and then set up that feeder post. So let's get to it. All right, folks, just got this little hanger put up behind me here. So that's gonna about do it for me today. I didn't do any clearing in this spot. I didn't trim any trails or anything. I did mark one trail that I want to connect this corner to that hidey hole plot. So I marked that, but I didn't trim anything. I just got an idea of now where I want to put a ground blind, what I have to trim for that, and then I know I got that lane marked to trim. So that's probably what I'll be doing next video. So in the meantime, I'm gonna head to the house before it gets too hot. So I appreciate you guys watching these videos, following along. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all later.